So we're going to be dealing with this issue of a leadership standard for dealing with performance. This has to be seen against the backdrop of what we've already established, and that is that the leader is there to achieve people through results. It is like the good coach. The good coach isn't there to achieve a result. The good coach is there to coach a player. The coach uses the result as his means to coach the player. And because that is the case, the intent of the relationship shifts from one where the coach is there to take to one where the coach is there to give. And, we went further to define the intent of the leader. If the intent of the leader is there to give, it will be there to care for and grow the subordinate, because that's what people in authority are meant to do for people who are subordinate to the authority. The job of the big one for the little one in any relationship of power is to care for and grow the subordinate. And when we say grow, we also mean empower. And we said empowering means to give people the means, the ability, and the accountability to do what is required of them. And the golden thread through all the work that we've done so far is that we wish to shift the intent of the average interaction between the leader and the subordinate from taking to giving. We also understand that consistent with the intent from taking to giving is a shift of attention from outcome into process, and that the leader's process is to care for, to provide means, ability, and accountability to immediate subordinates. So we have here our empowerment model, and this is done using our fishing analogy. We said if you want to empower somebody to fish, you've got to give them the means to be able to fish. You've got to give them the rod, etc., the tools and resources and so on. You've got to make them able to be able to fish. You've got to teach them why and how to fish. And then when you've done those two things, you've got to hold the person accountable. And accountable means that there are consistent rewards and punishments with regard to how they perform. And then we said against this understanding, there's basically two mistakes you can make as a leader. And we described these as the soft and the hard mistakes. The hard mistake is to treat means and ability issues as if they are accountability issues. In other words, you've not given the person the means to do what's required of them, or you've not made them able to do what's required of them. Predictably and not surprisingly, their performance is below standard, and you punish the person or you give them a written warning. That's just unjust. You can't do that. The soft mistake is the opposite. You've given the person all the means to do what's required of them. You give them all the ability to do what's required of them. Their performance is below standard. You treat accountability issues as if they are means and ability issues. And we did say that of these two mistakes, the soft and the hard mistakes, the soft mistake is infinitely worse than the hard mistake, because it's the equivalent of leaving the rotten apple in the barrel. And the problem is that when you do that, the effect of that is the only way that you can then kind of keep some handle on performance is to impose another control. So the problem with the soft mistake is that it causes an incremental increase in control. So how the leadership standard for dealing with performance actually works, it follows a logical sort of thought process. Should a leader encounter an employee who has gone the extra mile, the leader should obviously reward or praise the person, and in a recognizable and public way. And should the leader encounter an employee having performed to standard, the leader should thank the employee. Should the subordinate not be acting to standard, the leader should establish the following. Was this a means issue, an ability issue, or an accountability issue? Now, when you're considering whether this was a means issue, you would be asking yourself the following. Was the person aware of the standard? Was the standard clear? Did the person have the tools to comply to the standard? Did the person have the resources to comply to the standard? Did the person have the information to comply to the standard? Did the person have the authority to comply to the standard? And if any of these variables are an issue, the leader should address these issues. If there was an issue with ability, the first thing the leader would need to understand is, did the person know why they should do what was required of them? And secondly, did the person know how to do what was required of them? Should neither of these variables be at issue, in other words, should the leader assess that it was neither an means or an ability problem, then the leader has to conclude this person is accountable. The first question the leader should ask is, was the person careless or negligent in some way? Because if that is the case, the person should be warned, and this warning could be anything from a verbal caution to a final written warning that might ultimately lead to dismissal. And finally, if the person is proved to be deliberately not complying to the standard, in other words, deliberately malevolent in some way, they should be dismissed. So one can take this and turn this into a flow, and we call that flow the leadership standard for dealing with performance. If you think about the process we've just gone through, the flow of the standard suggests that the leader sets out with the intent to find people doing things right or going the extra mile. Secondly, should the leader find that the person's performance was not to standard, he should first consider whether this was a means problem. He should then secondly consider if it was an ability problem. And then finally, once he's assured himself that the poor performance was neither a means or an ability problem, he should discipline the employee. So the point about the standard is not punitive. The aim of the standard, the intent of the standard, is to empower people.